Emptiness is the best word to describe this past year. Most students haven't set foot in a school since March 13th, 2020. We were told that we would have 6 weeks off of school with no homework and no Zoom calls. It was like a month-long spring break.
Today, my first order will close all K through 12 public and private schools in every district across the state of Washington.
During those 6 weeks, masks weren't mandatory and everything still seemed pretty normal, like nothing had even happened. After those 15 days went by and the 6 weeks were up and there was no change, we knew that this would be a lot bigger than we thought.
They'll be stopped from providing traditional in-person instruction through the end of this school year in June.
Masks became mandatory and businesses began closing down all around cities in Washington. My lifelong sport of soccer and many others were all stopped for multiple months with no set date for return. A positive that a lot of kids took out of this was finding who they really were as a person. Without the social pressures of high school, they could dress and act a certain way with no judgment from other teenagers. Over this past year, I started skating a lot more, and it's been a great creative outlet for me, especially when school gets tough. One of the downsides of school being online is a lot of teens beginning to struggle with mental health problems. 55% of teens struggle with anxiety, 45% struggle with excessive stress, and 43% dealt with depression. Around 45% of these students say that they try to keep the feelings to themselves and spend time alone. Through the pandemic, I've learned that things will eventually get better. Even though COVID seemed like it would never end, life is finally beginning to return back to normal. High school sports have started back up, and eventually public schools will go back for in-person learning. If I could tell my future self one thing, it would be to cherish the small moments that I had with my friends and my family.